Y'all got a pretty good look at the board, yep. Alright, welcome to the Black Hole with OG Vibe. How are you doing today, beautiful soul? Hope you're doing well. The Black Hole with OG Vibe, we talk about a lot of crazy things here. We talk about really in-depth topics, and we go into like just 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 things in reality that people don't usually question often. That we could probably get a more in-depth look if we I probably need to look at my oil. That we can get a more in-depth look if we just check that out together. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna expand. If you've been watching Metaphysics 101 and you've seen episode 1, 2, and 3, we're gonna expand on this idea of um, of the Prima Materia, because I get that as a very complex idea to understand at first. The Prima Materia, because coming into interaction with the Prima Materia allows allows you to kind of sense it easier, understand what it is, so that way, no matter where you are, you have a good sense that yes, you are in a reality at least, right? so, so this is what we're going into. This is what we want to understand the prima materia about. Everything is made out of the prima materia, from imagination to physical things. Everything is made out of the prima materia. Another word for it that we probably use in modern times is the qualia. The qualia being, well, the qualia is just kind of like the characteristics of the prima materia. The prima materia is the actual substance it's made out of. The qualia is like the experience of you seeing the color red, or the experience of you seeing the color green, or the experience of you smelling eggs in the morning, or whatever the case. I don't know, I get eggs, but the experience of you experiencing those things. That's the qualia. But the prima materia is the actual substance of things and where they come from. That goes from consciousness, the substance of consciousness, the substance of thought, the substance of everything around you, the substance of the air, the substance of the molecules, the substance of you're watching this video, the prima materia, the energy that flows through everything. So we want to understand where that comes from. We're gonna hit it at a scientific point of view, just so that way we can comprehend where it comes from and understand how it does exist in our lives on a regular basis, and how we are always coming into in contact with it, and kind of like and kind of the ways you can kind of sense certain densities, because yes, a lot of these are invisible materials, dark matter basically. So we don't really see it the way that we see most things. Um, Even what we see now is usually illusory. It's usually just an illusion as far as the emotions that keep that thing together. It's usually illusory, so that's fine. Okay, let's jump into this topic right here. Again, we're expanding on the idea of the prima materia. Where do things come from in general? So let's go ahead and think about that and talk about that. So where do things come from? Ask yourself that question right now. Ask yourself that question and try to answer it. I'm gonna give you like, try to answer that. Just go ahead. Cause we don't know, baby. We don't know, but that's the answer. Watch. So this looks pretty complex, but it's not complex. You recognize these colors: red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Red, orange, yellow, green, indigo, blue, indigo, violet. The chakras, basically, right? And how they kind of go up, up the body, starting from the base chakra up to the crown chakra. So this is kind of like what we got going on here, right? Now, like I said, if you watch my video at the board where we talked about the chakras, we talked a little bit about them basically, and how the kundalini, or like that snake creature, which I drew here because the snake is such a beautiful representation of that coiling effect, but also being a living thing that we can use to see how these systems are moving through space. So usually when we think about a system or something like a building or infrastructure, usually it's something standing still, but these structures are usually cascading across large vistas. Um, but and sometimes they can take over an entire tri-state area, the way they can kind of float over. You ever heard somebody talk about an idea that goes over somebody's head? Like, these kind of things are so huge and so massive. Sometimes we don't feel them as a collective, but they're kind of affecting us in our own ways. But just being able to understand the emotionality and where it comes from helps you see how those systems kind of come into play, and affect you in your daily life. Like, literally affect you. Like right now, it's affecting you. Like, you go to math class and be like, oh, math. but you're not really counting anything. Like, you have to see, you have to taste, you have to smell. It's affecting you right now. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna start off of here. The prime creative force, or the prime creative energy, that prime creative material, which we call the prima materia. In scientific terms, we might have called that state at which the beginning of things. I'll say the beginning of things is a human term, so I'll use that. The state in which beginning of things came from, right? So the Big Bang, where possibly could have the Big Bang came from. If energy cannot be created or destroyed, where did the energy that created the Big Bang come from? A lot of people don't know this, but we are still living in the Big Bang, right? It's like saying, this is why you have a birthday every year, because you're still technically like, you're being given birth to. Yeah, there was a day that you were like born, right? There's a day that you were born, but you're still in a birthing state. You're still in a growing state. Does that make sense? So this is why we are still in we are actually still in the Big Bang right now. If I flash a light from you from millions of miles away, right? And you saw that light, it takes a while for the light to reach you, but yeah, basically, the closer you are to that light, the sooner you're going to see me flash it. The further away you are, you're just going to see that flash later, but it's still the same flash, it's still the same events, it's just happening at another, at further away from you, so it seems like it's happening at another time. Like if I threw a tennis ball across a court and there are people standing in line, or like the free throw shot, that ball is going past several people, right? So light kind of travels that way too. You don't see it until it gets to you. Basically, you don't see it until it's in front of you, or until it comes into your vision. So that's kind of like how we're still inside of the Big Bang, really. So still inside that same energy that created the Big Bang, we're still able to take part in it, and able to take part in the creative force that it comes from. And again, where does it come from? All right. So it's a little cute little chart we got down here. Let me see if y'all can see it. It's a cute little chart we got down here. So this is what it says. This is where it comes from. This is the my little graphs. I like to do a little XY graph. So how did it come into being? This is not a chart of numbers. This is a chart of questions, right? So how did it come into being? The answer is we don't know, right? But really, the answer is no, we don't. All right? How did it come to being? We don't know. No, we don't. When I say no, we don't, no as in knowledge, not N-O, K-N-O-W. No, we don't. Because that's where it comes from. It comes from a no place. It comes from a nowhere. It's kind of like, I was thinking about this, Courage the Cowardly Dog. Basically like how he lives in the middle of nowhere. There's a bunch of strange activities that happen in the middle of nowhere. So, 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 so how did it come into being? We don't know, or rather, no, we don't. Um, as in, it came into being through knowledge, through the mind. So we're gonna look at the other question. When? Okay, I love this one. When did it come into being? Right? It came into being in no time. Right? Not in O time, in no time. Which is no time? How fast does it take you to think about an elephant? Like, oh, the thought just popped up as soon as probably even before I finished the word. It took no time. When did the universe come into being? It came into being in no time. In no time, right? It came into being in no time. So we're really seeing how we can generate these ideas and energies. We got one more question here. Where, right? We talked about that Courage the Cowardly Dog. Where did it come into being? Nowhere. Nowhere. It came into being in your imagination. It came into being nowhere. So this is this is a lot of the times, like I said, those we have two terms for single words. We have two terms for single things, like N-O sounding negative, but also being K-N-O-W. But those are those. I think those are those kind of like maybe it's more like a puzzle piece saying, okay, this is kind of like a. My thing is, if it rhymes, it reasons. That's how I kind of feel about it. Cause we human beings, so I don't know what to tell you about it. If it rhymes, it usually reasons. So when did it came to being? So how did it come to being? We don't know, or no, we don't. Um, when did it come into being? In no time. In no time. Um, where did it come into being? In nowhere. These are energies generated by the mind. This is why every experience is a mental experience, okay? You choose to let things bother you. How does something bother you unless it's actually physical interacting with you? It bothers you emotionally through energy. So this is what we're talking about here, okay? That's yours. You can keep that. Okay, so we're going over here now. So we're talking about the Big Bang, right? And again, so where did this energy come from? Nowhere. When did it come into it? No time. How did it come into it? We don't know, or no, we don't. As meaning, we don't know where it came from, but at the same time, we can create where it came from. No, we know how it came to being. It came into being through knowing. That's basically how did it come to being? Through knowing. So, this right here, if we're looking at this, okay, so these, I'm calling these scales, and again, I like this, I like the idea of the snake because this really will help you probably see this. Look at this. These little waves right here. These are scales, right? So, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. There are membranes, by the way. There are membranes a lot of the places. And when we think about cell, like this is do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. We have membranes basically. What happens is it creates a dense layer structure. Again, sometimes we pop through these membranes and we kind of have like an ego death or like, like a baby moment, baby popping out of a womb when they just start crying. We kind of have these ego death moments when we pop through these membranes. They exist on different octaves. So, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And then you hit up into a different octave and which it will just revert back to the same type of state, of course, where that shadow is at the center and the light is encompassed around it. We're talking about, again, things with no mass here. No mass. They can come into mass. There's stories about our ancestors. I'm talking about our Egyptian ancestors who thought the pyramids into existence. They didn't build them. They thought it into existence. They used their minds to create a lot of those experiences. There's experiences all across the world, as a matter of fact, where they kind of where a lot of it is just created mentally. You say like, where did this technology come from? Where does this and that come from? A lot of the times they did it with their own minds, and that's no joke. Again, we forgot. Not that we forgot, but the society that we're living in doesn't really call for the necessity of those things quite. I think the universe is doing its own thing, so it's like, yeah, why not? Let's sprinkle a little bit for America. Let's sprinkle a little bit, then you can do a little X-Men dance with them, huh? Do a little Superman dance with them, huh? So that's what's going on here. Okay, I had an interesting question. How do light sources maintain its? What do we call it if it's not a mass? Like, what do we call it if it's not a mass? They're projective. Yeah. How do light beings maintain their projected forms? I'm pretty sure that has a lot to do with consciousness and energy fields, but yeah, consciousness and energy fields. Let's say that. I'm gonna call it light matter. This matter that we're talking about. This living light, living light. Where did living light come from? No, we don't. No, we don't. Where did living light come from? It exists. Where did Where did your flesh, how did you come to existence again? Know it all. Your mama, where did your mama come from? Where did your daddy come from? And your grandma? And them before them, and them before them, and them before them. Where did they come from? No, we don't. Okay, we came from the planet Earth, I guess. That's about the commonality that we got. We came from the planet Earth. Okay, well, not even all of us. We're in the universe, baby. That's the commonality. We're in the universe, but not everyone's planets, not everybody's masses work the same. So this is really about just understanding the differences between people and really expanding on the actual. We didn't go into just look up the chakras basically. Look up the chakras. This has a lot to do with that. I don't have to explain to you what the chakras are, because I feel like if you're here you probably already understand most of that kind of stuff. But basically those what can we call them? You know in computers how we have like ones and zeros? Well, there's like um seven or eight there's like 8 bits that we use basically in reality to eight 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 configurations that we use in reality to configure emotional states, at least in our perceivable reality, that we use to configure emotional states to actuate change in the universe, or to actuate change in our physical environments and spiritual environments, honestly. But yes, we have those octaves that we use again. This is red, meaning it's a carnal energy coming from the base or the groin chakra, right? Red, and then we have orange, which is in the stomach. Okay, that's like your desires. Like, ooh, you gotta be hungry for something. You ever been hungry? Like, damn, I need that food. I need that food. This be your spirit's place where it be hungry too. Like, ooh, I need the word today. Somebody feed me some. Give me some intellect. It's coming from right here. It's coming from right here. Make sure you're always hungry, starving for the word, because yes, we gonna feed you, baby. We gonna feed you. Then we have our solar plexus. Right, our solar plexus is the place of joy, where smiles come from. So yes, let that solar plexus shine bright. Then of course, we have the heart chakra. The heart, we love the heart. It's green, and of course, it's the heart. So like, what can I tell you? Blue, the throat chakra. I use this a lot on my channel. I use it a lot. you know, um, Indigo, which is the third eye chakra, intelligence, intuition, all the good stuff, creativity, right there too. Okay, and boom, this one doesn't exist in the body. It's right above the head, right? This is the purple chakra. It exists right above the head, basically. It's like where the soul exists. This is their connection to the outside universe and the world around you, baby. That's what that is. There's more chakras that go throughout your body system. Okay, we're talking about awareness. We're just being aware of those that go up. We didn't even get into inverted colors, baby. We didn't even get into that yet. So you need to give me a second. You need to stick around. You need to stick around the black hole with OG Bob. If you're really trying to do that knowledge, baby. You feel me? If you really want to know what's up, 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 and we get stuck, right? If it's up, then it's up, then it's up. We don't get stuck, baby. We got wings. We just not a flyer. You feel me? But if it's up, then it's stuck. Let me show y'all real quick. This is a self-portrait of myself. This is a self-portrait of me. This is when I was really skinnier. This is when I was really skinny out here. But yeah. We're out here, you guys. And isn't this so much fun? Just go ahead and take a second to meditate on what we're seeing again. Octaves. We're talking about the membranes that we break through. These are our breakthroughs right here. When we notice what a system feels like, sometimes we don't even realize some of the other parts of it because we were already acclimated to those parts. Really gets tough when it comes to communication in that blue chakra area, right? When it's time for you to communicate with somebody, it gets tough. When it's time for you to make that intellectual connection, it gets tough. Going up this scale is tough. I call it the scale of solutions because really, this is how you come up with the solutions for your life, right? And then once you finally get that breakthrough, you go up an octave. You can really get stuck just in one realm. There's different octaves out there, different layers of glory, different layers of perception and stuff like that. Um, and that's really fun. It's really nice to be a part of. It's really nice to see. Trying to see if there's anything else on the board that we didn't go over before I go ahead and stop the video for today. And we're known to be higher. That's a song. I can't read my own damn writing sometimes. I'm so sorry. But okay. What is the creative force? Where does it come from? Again, nowhere. Again, let's repeat that. What is the creative force and where it comes from? The creative force is known as the Prima Materia. Thank you, alchemist, for that word. The Prima Materia, right? It's talking about the energy fields that we come into contact with all the time. So, where does it come from? No, we don't. No, we don't. When did it come? When did it appear? In no time. It came in no time. Where is it? Nowhere. Nowhere. You nowhere. So it's nowhere. Alright, beautiful souls. Young and old. Thank you for stopping by the black hole with OG Vibes. I hope you beautiful beings have a wonderful day. And it is Monday, so you better be prepared for class. I'm coming for your ass, boy. You hear me? You hear me? I'm coming for your ass, boy. Subscribe, boy. You better subscribe. After you subscribe, you better leave a damn comment in this motherfucker. You heard me? Leave a comment and then subscribe. Meow, sing. Meow. All right, y'all. I'm out. I don't do too much. Okay, I love you guys. Bye.